USDA announces it will spend $1.2 billion on food purchases as part of the trade mitigation package. And it's begun to make pre-solicitations announced for a number of products. Joining us now for a further look, Economist Veronica Nigh. Thanks so much for joining us, Veronica. And let's start with an update on the food purchases and what categories of products are going to be covered.
Oh my goodness, it's really almost a list of what products aren't included. So there's a wide variety of fresh fruits and vegetables, a wide variety of nuts. You've got a lot of dairy products and meat products that the folks usually don't see. Things like beef and pork in a pretty wide variety.
How are these purchases going to be distributed?
Well, the additional purchases are going to go through the emergency food procurement system, which will ultimately end them up in food banks. So that program typically receives about $350 million worth of food each year. Already this year, that system has added an additional $500 million, and now we're looking at another $1.2 billion. So if you're adding that up at home, that's over $2 billion worth of food going into the food bank system, as opposed to the usual $350 million.
Why do you think that they're boosting those numbers up so considerably?
Well, it's an easy distribution channel for USDA. There's always a need across the United States in cities and in rural areas for food for needy people through food banks. We often see these foods distributed to the most the folks who are most in need of food, our elderly population, and those who are in between jobs. So this is an incredibly critical population to use these additional fresh fruits and vegetables and products on, and they're going to see a much wider variety of food than they usually see.
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of food insecure people across rural America. Overall, this is fantastic news. What impact do you think this is going to have on food banks across the country?
Well, certainly the food banks are excited about this new distributions, but I think we need to be careful and make sure that we give them the tools that they need in order to utilize this food correctly. So far, USDA hasn't been able to allocate any additional funds for storage and distribution. So when these food banks are looking at receiving foods in excess of 500% more than usual, certainly they're going to be constrained in their ability to move and store these products, especially those that are not shelf stable. So we're certainly taking a look at this, and we know USDA is working hard to try to create some additional storage for these food banks so that they can fully utilize all of the wholesome agricultural products that they're going to be getting.
In a timely fashion, as you mentioned. Thank you so much for bringing us this information, and we always appreciate your updates. AFBF economist Veronica Nigh, thanks for joining us.